Hello, beautiful, mystical souls. Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Wandering and Pondering, where I discover brand new, ancient and beautiful woodland in Oxfordshire, and I share whatever is on my heart or anything that comes up in the moment. I'm Chloe the Elven Mage, and welcome. Today I'm going to be walking. I really wanted to show you to a new woodland that I've discovered. It's called Topplewood. We're not there yet. I'm still on the journey, but I thought I would start the video beforehand so that we can arrive there together. It's not entirely true actually that it's brand new. I was walking the other day, wandering should I say, and I wandered a different route, and I went and took a different path than I normally would, and then I came to the Topplewood, which is where I'm heading back to now, and it's just the path through this most breathtaking woodland. I'm going to actually do a post where I share the photos of it from the other day, because I went at dusk time, my bad, and the lighting coming through the trees, those sunlight splinters, it was totally breathtaking. I am on the road at the moment, so we might have a few car noises, so apologies for that, but we will soon be surrounded by the glorious sounds of nature. Yeah, so I wasn't totally truthful. So it was only recently that I found this particular pathway through the Topplewood. I'd actually been almost to the wood before, and many a times I'd seen it and really wanted to go and explore this wood, but I was under the impression that it was private woodland and I couldn't find a way to actually get in. So this is why I was so excited the other day when I discovered a path that actually takes you all the way through the woodland. So I'm so excited, and I thought I'd start the video early so that when we get there we can actually just walk through it together and take in the sights and the sounds, so I can get the talking out of the way today. And I felt called to actually do maybe a shorter video today, as I personally, I would say over the last week, have been feeling this deep calling to honor the silence and go within, and that includes, taking more time away from screens and just being aware of that, and really managing the relationship that I have with screens and with content, and how much energy I'm giving to that space. And in England and other places in the world that aren't on the equator, of course, we are experiencing a shift in season, and this is such a deep ancestral calling, I feel, to go out in nature and really be at one with this shift, as within, so without, as above, so below, as in nature, so within us. So I've been really feeling this quieter, more calm, soft, silent, inward energy within myself. There's just an aeroplane going past. So I want to also honor that and give you space for that. If you're watching today, I don't want to take too much of your attention away from yourself. Of course, that is your choice. But I just want to honor that in reflection. Not be too selfish, and not to say or share more than is necessary. And as I mentioned before, but for those who are new to my page, I'm located in the UK in northwest Oxfordshire, so very beautiful, beautiful part of England, surrounded by woodland and lots of nature and beautiful animals and birds. And oh my goodness, the smell that is in the air at the moment, I wish I could encapsulate it for you and send it to you in the screen. I'm going to do my best to describe this smell for you, and it's like, is this sweetness in the air. It's a mixture of pine and a smoky vanilla sweetness with a little bit of something more like a berry or a floral essence. And then of course we've got the rainwater, and it's honestly, it's like the smell of nature's gratitude for the rain coming. And I mean, I'm just going to do a little turn around. You can hear the gorgeous birds and see the green all around. Oh, the natural world is celebrating in England at the coming of rain, the shifting of season. This is something that I just absolutely love. Look at that moss. I love a mossy rock or a mossy tree. So I've just been really enjoying being out in this fresh autumn air. My favourite, I was pondering this before I started this video today, my favourite months of the year when I'm living in the UK are May, June, which is the turning, the summer solstice, and then September, October, which is the autumn equinox, and then Samhain or Halloween. Just beautiful times of the year. So much energy, so much change, and just so much gorgeous nature. So take a breath with me wherever you're at, wherever you are. I hope that you have access to some natural surroundings where you can go and breathe in whatever is going on in nature around you. Has some messages and some lessons and some great deep wisdom to share with us. It's like cleansing for my whole being, not only my lungs and my heart, but I can feel it clearing and shifting my spirit. So I wanted to share something that I experienced yesterday. I had plans to go and spend time with a dear sister, a friend of mine, and it got cancelled last minute, which always leaves one in quite an odd predicament. So what do I do with this time, with this day? And you know, it was going to be a day off, but something just really drew me to sit down and take a pause and take a look at my website, which I haven't done for a few months. You know, I've been busy, I've been in summer mode, celebrating and being out there in the world. So I sat down and really just took a look at it and said to myself, is this representing me? Are these words true to my heart? And I really went through everything with a fine tooth comb and rewrote a lot of the words on my website, as I felt that a lot of it just wasn't expressing me and what I do with clarity and with authenticity. And I was probably spent about 5 hours doing this, and it was quite difficult and felt like quite a challenge to get myself into that heart and mind connection so that I could just really relax into it and take my time. And it really gave me this reflection on AI and the modern world and how fast-paced everything is, and how it can be so easy and so instant and like that quick gratification if I had just asked AI to do it for me. But that block and that lack of authenticity just rings so untrue to me. And taking that time and realizing, you know, that yesterday being at home and having, oh, I just got attached to something. Having that time and having the space with no other commitments. Like, that was a free day gifted to me. So what was the rush? Why did there need to be a rush to do it quickly? And when I allowed myself to ease into that and really, you know, just wiggle into that stillness and that softness, the words started flowing and I started getting excited about it, and I started saying, hang on a minute, like, what are my superpowers? And it was a really beautiful experience, actually. And when I recognized that most of the work that I do, the art I share, the mentorships, the one-to-one cocoons that I hold space for with clients, all of it is inspired or in rhythm with or in honor of nature. And nature does not rush. No, no, no. Nature takes as long as she needs to. And the more that we choose to be in honor with Earth, the more that we are choosing to not cave in to the modern world and the takeover of our consciousness with artificial consciousness and artificial anything. It is this reclamation of slowing down and honoring nature, because we are one with nature, and there is no need for us to rush. There is no need for us to churn out content, words, books, whatever it may be. There is no rush. There is no rush. And the more space and grace that we give ourselves to just allow the creative process to flow at its own speed, I believe the more incredible the content will be that we then create. So I wanted to share that because it was a difficult process for me to go through. I was getting frustrated, and I could feel this deep-rooted impatience and frustration and comparison, all of these shadows coming up. And it's often when we actually just sit down and face a project or a task head on, that's when all of our shadows come out of hiding, you know, and we're faced with them. And I really do feel as though I'm doing a lot of shadow work at the moment, which I'm incredibly grateful for, because the more that I can acknowledge and honor my shadows, the more that I can share with them, and then the more that I can also support others in doing this. So I see it as a true blessing to be going through a period and a space in my time where it's like every day situations are being presented to me that are in turn presenting to me parts of me that are unloved. And that's what it is. Part of us that is unloved, and therefore parts of us that are still living in fear or lack or control. So I wanted to share that, and excitingly, we are arriving at the Topplewood. I think it's about to rain. Oh, I wish you could be here and just smell this with me. It's just the most glorious smell. I'm going to call this the smell of September. Just before we get to the wood and I turn the camera around, I know I've really kept this short and brief today, but as I mentioned, you know, this is what I really want to honour. Simplicity, silence, steadiness, taking deep breaths, recognizing the parts of us where we don't feel loved. And I would love to know, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments what you would like to know about shadow work or inner child healing. It's something that I really love to talk about, of course, you know. The fear cycles of nature, they are all interwoven with one another. So for us to understand nature is for us to understand our own cycles and our own depths, our own darkness, our own shifts and changes and shadows. So yeah, please let me know in the comments what you'd like to know about shadow work and facing that darkness and facing those emotions. Because the more that we embrace the fullness and the wholeness of our being, and that is the anger and the frustration and the tears and the pain, and the more that we allow that to bubble up and erupt from the surface, the more freedom we experience. So yeah, let me know if you have questions and I can talk about them in my coffee shop chat. I'm going to be talking more about my experience in Indonesia, or I can talk more in depth about shadow work for next week's Wandering and Pondering. For now, I'm going to turn the camera around and just let you walk with me through the Topple Woods. Enjoy. Thank you so much for wandering and pondering with me today in this soft, silent and introspective space between the changing of the seasons, the turning of the wheel. Let me know what your favourite part of this video was in the comments. Please like, share if you feel called, and if you're new to the channel, a subscribe would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. And just to remind you that gifts are my love language. So you can find links to send me a gift via donation or to any of my services and mentorships in the comments below. So much love.